Welcome back to Powershell Titan, and today let's see about more. Yesterday we were seeing about the while loop, do while loop, undo until all those things, and break, continue all those things. We'll have a quick summary, and then we'll start building a little bit more advanced level of scripting, and then we'll also see other scenarios. And if you see, once we start using our PowerShell scripts and from previous session, you could see a lot of things. I'm embedding new things that is actually not relevant to actual, the topic. But what are the things we will be usually using, with that? Let's say while we are talking about while loop yesterday, we were using read hyphen post. Read hyphen post is not a particular different topic, but something that we will be using very occasionally with this particular while loop and then all those things. So that is how we will be adding new things, what all the day-to-day life things, and then we will start seeing that. So let me share my screen and all right, here we go. And so yeah, seen while switch. Okay, now let's see switch. Okay, switch is the one next we are going to see. And here, if you see switch and if they put it in the, we put it in the same nearby condition, right? In the same thing. The reason is they both are almost, serves the same purpose. I'll show you how. Okay. So now let's take the if condition. Okay. Let's say this as now if condition is goes like this, right? So if condition number 1, and then there will be a block to go ahead and execute it, and then else if condition number 2, and then some other block, and then this can keep on going, right? We said we can have any number of things. Okay, let's say this can be 3, 4, and let's say x number. Okay, any number. And finally, what we will be doing is, final thing is, there is no condition. It will be just, if at all you are using else if, it should definitely complete with else. Here, this is the last condition. If at all these, it will check first condition. If any condition matches, the following block of script will be executed. Everything else will be skipped. And if none of these conditions are met, finally only else conditions. This is kind of ultimately no conditions met scenario. Okay, so now finally this is the one will be happening, and everything else is false. So in that scenario, this else will be working, right? So now let us try the switch, and then let us go with the other. We'll start with the transcript. Okay, let me switch to that particular folder. And let's start with get hyphen help and about. Let me try switch. It's there, and then this is the one. Now all we needed to check is the syntax, right? So syntax is just this one. Basic syntax is this one. Switch, and then it takes switches like this. And as I said, whenever the normal brackets are coming, it will be a condition. So this is the condition. Okay. And here, in spite of the actual condition, we are actually giving, let's say, how we will be doing a condition. Let's say we will be comparing, right? Let's say x something, okay, is equals to true or false, right? X or equal to false. That is kind of two things, right? So let's say if this is broken into two things, one is one part, okay, X, and the other part is whether it is true or false. That is the two things, right? So this X is the one we are comparing, whether that particular value is true or false, right? So in all these conditions, we'll be checking, let's say X is true or X is equals to 1 or 2, 3, all those conditions we are checking, right? Let's say that's the thing. Here, X is the one we are comparing. That's the condition, or that is one particular value we are checking everywhere. And let's say we are checking whether the X value is number 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5. And finally, if nothing is meeting, we are executing this one. Okay, now let me copy this and open Notepad. And I'm going to execute the same thing. Okay, let's say X. And obviously, $X equals 0 and write hyphen host 0 and let me print it first. I'll just copy and paste it. And this condition is X. So I'm just replicating. X is equals to 0, X is equal to 1, and X equal to 2, and X is equals to 3, and this is X is equals to 4, and if none of them are there, then it will be executing. Let's say just to 1, 2, 3, 4, and none. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, this is how and everything will be there, right? And we are taking one particular value and we are checking some kind of condition, and we are actually checking the same condition. We are checking whether X is equal to 0, and based on that we are going to print something. And then if it is 1, based on that 1, 2, it is 2, 3, it is 3, 4, it is 4, and then if nothing is there, we are going to try. I mean, we are going to print none. Let us say this is if similar to switch. Okay, then let us save this, and then I'm going to run it, and just want to let you know I did not declare or anywhere. Okay, declare anywhere either in the script or in the console. Oh, so X is actually null. Okay, now I'm going to execute this and see first what is going to happen, and it is none. Okay, because it is neither 0. Okay, currently X is not at all there. It is not even declared. Okay, we did not even declare as a 0. Okay, so what is happening? It is checking something that is not there, and then nothing will be matching. So finally it is saying there is nothing there. Okay, or at least all these conditions are not met. So that's the first thing, and let's try again. First thing, none. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare it here. X is equals to 0. Okay, now let me try, and then 0 will be printed, and everything else will be included, and everything will be skipped, right? Now I don't want to go to 1, 2, 3. You know you understand the concept. I just want to let's take only this one. So 4, because that's the last else if I wanted to I want to show you all these will be executed. Only this will be printed, and even this will be skipped. And let us try now. And 4 is printed because we changed it. Everything will be checked. Only this condition will met, and this will also be skipped. Now finally I'll just make it as 5. That is we are declaring a value which is not matching any of this condition. Again, now this is also say none. Okay, let me save it, and then now it is none. That is what happening, and you see this is kind of uh, clean, how to say, clean else if, and then we understand and everything is fine. But what if the one thing is I'm using only one particular value and I'm checking that particular value. Okay, it can be X or it can be a bunch of conditions. But let's say this is what I wanted to check. Dollar X is the value I wanted to check. And if you see all these are X equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or everything, one part of the equation is X and another part is different, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So since that is the case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it another script, okay? And I'm going to make it very similar to this one, switch, okay? So this test value is nothing but let's X, okay? Dollar X, okay? And this is where the condition is, okay? And the condition is, let's say 1 or let's say 0, and the action is whatever the followed by. Okay, what is the action? And this, there is something we will also learn little bit a new thing about data type as well. Okay, now this is the condition, and then second condition is 1, and this will be, let's say 1, okay, and 2 is nothing but 2, 3 is 3, 4 is, we can keep on going because that's the same thing, right? We can check with anything. And then I'm not going to do this else as of now. Okay, as let's just leave it as it is. And then I say this as a switch one dot ps1, and dollar $x is equals to, let's first clear that value from the this one. Dollar $x is nothing, okay, and here we did not mention as well. Okay, first thing, okay, in if we have X, okay, this is script variable, and the scope is within this particular script, within this script, okay. So even though we run this $X and then we are declaring and everything, when the script is executing, this $X will be declared first thing, okay. This is again not related to switch, okay. As I said, we now will be combining everything so that you will understand. Assuming you have already gone through all the previous scope, variable scope, everything. We will be adding things and then we will be combining things so that it will make sense. So this is about the scope of the variable. Now this is the script variable. We know that even though these two scripts, okay, switch and then this one, have a variable called $X. This variable and this variable is different, and whatever I am declaring here, $X is still empty. Okay, so this is the, let's say, the local variable in this particular console, and these are all the script variables, and this X is different from this X. Okay, and when this particular script is starting, this will be declared and then it will be in the memory, and when the script is executed and exiting, this will be destroyed, means cleared automatically. It will not be available back again in the console. Okay, to prove that point, let me try this one. Okay, so what we have done here, we are again, I'm just to make the point, I'm declaring this as a 3. Okay, and then I'm going to run it. Okay. Switch Hit enter 3 because we declared it 3. Again, I'm checking the local X. It is not there, and I'm gonna run this switch. Okay, I say and switch 1 and hit enter. This is also not returning anything because even though we declare the $X in this particular one tree, that will not be applicable. Okay, that we know that. I just want to make sure you understand it in the real time. Okay, now back again to using how to use a switch. Okay, now let's say X is equals to 0, and let us try now switch again. Let's first print it. Okay, right hyphen post. Okay, and X value is $X. Let me check whether it is actually declaring. Yes, it is actually declaring, but here it is actually 0, 1, 2, 3, right? Correct. So what is happening here is, the first thing is this one, whatever we are passing here, right? This will be usually will be considered as a string. Okay, whatever this value. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is let's say here I'm printing. Okay, get $X dot get. So I'm gonna get the type, and then we are gonna see what is that actually. Again, now from variable we are getting into the type, actually data type. Let us try again. Here X is getting declared, and then it is actually getting declared as an integer. Okay, so in spite of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it as 0 in the double quotes. Now let's see what's happening. It is actually changing a string. Okay, still nothing is actually working. Okay, now let me try going back. Get hyphen help about hyphen underscore switch. I'm what I'm doing is let me first try this. Okay, I'm gonna make this as a 3, and then I'm gonna try it. I'm taking the colon, semicolon. I mean, I'm putting the colon, right, and save this and run again. Switch one. Okay, it's actually printing 3. Okay, that is because this is 3 and this value is also 3. Then let me first change this. Now 0. Now let us, in spite of 3, I'm going to change it $X, and then now let's see what's happening. Now we are getting this as a 0. Okay, that which is we are declaring 0. Okay, I want you to focus on this get type as well. What is going to happen here? Integer. Okay, and what is the mistake I did? I just copied the syntax and then I was using the colon, right? So I removed it, and there is no need of colon or anything. Just the whatever the value is enough. Okay, and then I copied it. Now it is going to check whether the $x is equals to 0 or 1, 2, 3, 4, and finally I'm going to also have something called default, and then that is again the last one, kind of the else, right? The final else. This is the final else. Now let us say x is equals to 5. Okay. Now let's see what's happening. Now it says none because none of them are met, and default is very similar to the else. None of them are matching. By default, this will be executing. So how everything is false, finally it will not check any condition, it will execute, right? Similarly, it will check all those things. If none of them are matching, this will be executing. So if you see both if, else, all these things is a complicated code, whatever, I mean, looking complicated, whatever we are achieving exactly the same thing, very simple, clean. We don't even need a colon, all those things. We are taking x. This is called the value, test value or a switch value, you can say. We are comparing this value with 0, 1, 2, 3, all those things, and then we are trying this. Now, I'm gonna make it as instead of 5, let's say. This is all currently happening in integer. Now again, I'm changing it to. Now still it's 5. Okay, okay. Let us say let's change it to 3. And here, the type is string. Okay. And this whatever we are mentioning here, right? Okay, that is actually we are not putting in a double quotes. Okay, means $3. I mean, let's say here $x is equals to 3. That is a string. Okay, this is a string value, and whatever this value we are equally checking, right? This is actually a integer, right? So first case, this is again, I'll just quickly try again. Okay, this is 3 and it is an integer first case. Okay, this is integer, it is actually integer, and then here we have 3 and that is also integer, and the actual condition is getting executed. Intentionally making this as 3. Okay, and then I'm executing again. Now it's printing 3, but it is not integer, it is a string. But whatever we are comparing here is actually string with an integer, which should not be true, but it will actually convert it as according to the value, and then it will be matching it. If it is string, it will check it as a string. If it is integer, it will check it as an integer. So that's the whole point. That's what switch will do. Okay, you don't have, I mean, that is, let's say, an additional benefit. Okay, it like you don't have to actually strictly stick with their type, whatever the type. Let's say if it is string, you don't have to put them all in double quotes. Okay, and that is the whole point. Okay, we just take it undo, and then I'm trying again, and then it will be 3. And let's say I put it as a 2 and then print again, it will be 2. And if I make it as 10, it is none of them, so it will print none. So that is the switch, and default is something optional. You don't need it, whether you have it or not. It will just not print. Okay, So default is not something mandatory. If at all, if you use switch, let's say here we say else is mandatory, right? Similarly, this switch is default is not mandatory. If you want, you can use it. If not, you can leave it. Okay. So in other simple word, if, else if, else if, else if, else if, else, all those things, right? This complete thing can be switched. I mean, we can be emulating the same concept using the switch, and then this is how we'll be doing it. Okay. Why this is called switch? So basically, this is the only value we are checking. Kind of, let's say, when we have a switch board, right? We turn on number one light. It will be, it will be turning on the first light, two second light, three bedroom light, four hall light, all those things, right? So based on whatever the value we are doing here, based on that, it will be actually doing something on the block, right? So we can consider that is the reason we call it as a switch, and this key is a switch key. So that is another one of the conditional thing. This is something you will be using very rare, but just very rare in the sense, if at all you know this scenario will be coming, then you can use. Other than that, it is something you don't have to worry about it. So we have seen all of those things. Thing get hyphen help about underscore for. You made a spelling mistake. And okay, see here for, I'm gonna just copy and paste it. Okay, just to show you. Okay, this one. Let's save it, and then paste it. Save it as for empty conditions dot ps1 and save. Here we know here should be an initialization of an I. Okay, and then here some condition, and here some incremental or decremental, right? But the whole, what we are doing is we are just putting semicolon semicolon, and then we are doing it, and let's save this and run it for, and then you will be seeing it will be keep on going on. Means this is, even though this is the syntax, these all things are not mandatory. Okay, this is very similar to our while loop. You remember when we try while loop? Okay, in some condition we said it will be getting, because we are not doing any incremental. Okay, it will be actually, there is no incremental, but the condition will never met, and then it will be stuck into the, let's say a deadlock, right? We said that as a deadlock, and I said deadlock is something like the script is actually locked within a particular loop, and then it is keep on executing. That is deadlock. And the reason why I'm showing this is, even though for and all this for, while, do, while, everything looks like a different thing, they're all actually doing the same thing. They are initializing something, and then this is all not mandatory, this is all optional, and then increment something, and then check some condition until the condition is going on, it will be keep on running. So why I'm showing this, while and for, they both act exactly doing the same thing. Okay, and they will also get into the deadlock because they are exactly the same thing. So it is uh, ideally how the switch and if, else if, everything are the same. Similarly, for and while loop, they are also exactly the same thing. Okay, it's kind of, you wanted to achieve some particular thing, and you have the same kind of tools, and once you, let's say you are going to build a, let's say house by yourself. Okay, you are not hiring anyone, you learn yourself, and let's say a small one, and then for a lab purpose or something. Okay, you are actually building. Okay, and then you're doing everything by yourself. Now you have lot of tools and everything, and then you, let's say I'm giving nearly some 100 tools, and we can use all these 100 tools on the right appropriate thing, and all these 100 tools and few tools, maybe let's say one or two tools will be doing the same thing. Okay, let's say drilling, putting a hole, or the other let's say other tools, right? Like nailing, all those things, right? Similarly, we'll be having multiple tools, will be say doing the same purpose, will look exactly the same thing, but depends on what scenario we are going to use it. That is where the actual change will be coming. And what when you will be actually getting that experience, once you start building, once you do the start trial and error, right? That is when you will be actually getting lot of things. So the whole point is all these while and do while and do, do while and until and for, all these are almost the same kind of tools. Okay, and if and switch, all those things are same kind of tools, and based on your need, on the case by case scenario, you'll be using the best tool that you need. Okay, and that will be coming on, on let's say initially you might be using the while where you wanted to use for, and then you will be doing it little bit complicated, but you will be actually achieving the goal. Okay, the objective will be done. But once you start and then you start doing things, and then you will be getting understanding. Instead of using switch, if and else if, and then you are doing lot of things, we can use switch. Okay, so that will be coming after practice. So that is the whole point, and then it will be coming in. A lot of lot of practice should be enough, and will also start making sense when we should use what tool. So that all the conditions, and as I said, script is nothing but a list of commands, which is a block, let's say, plus some conditions, right? Or let's say some kind of logics. Okay, or conditions, and this is the whole complete script is how it is. If you see everywhere, you'll see all the block of commands will be in curly braces, all the logics and conditions will be within the normal brackets. So, and I also started with, without even saying how, I mean, without even giving a technical example, I started with this. Script is nothing but a command, like how we take a car and then we drive and give the instruction. Let's say if there is a the green light is there in the green signal, that is a condition. Based on that, go ahead and do some other action, right? So that is how we will be living the real life. That is what the script based command, and that is what the whole scripting is. So now we have seen both the things. We have seen what all the building blocks. What is the command structure, and then what is a variable, how to declare a variable, how to compare things, how to use the operators, and then how to assign values, how to increment values, decrement values. All these comes under here. And while doing those, what all the other things, what all the conditions we will be checking. Let's say we will be checking whether the value is equals to something else, or and value, or value, and all those things, right? So that is where these conditions will be coming in place, and by adding these two, and we will be doing some meaningful output. That is the PowerShell script, and that is, so officially we started doing, and then now we will be start seeing lot of other things as well. Okay. Now let's go with this one. Like, we have seen operators, okay, but we didn't specifically see like, match, split, join operators. This is again, if you remember, okay, this is the same. this will be all mostly like and match, split, join. All these will be related to string operations. Okay, let's try to declare a string. Okay, let's say main string is or a sentence. Let's say word one is equal to partial, word two is equal to Titans. Now let's use the like. Okay, dollar word one hyphen like, let's say power, and hit enter. It's it, I'll show you the difference. Okay, and then I'll just add this one. So if you remember, sometimes back where we were trying some example and we used hyphen EQ. Okay, it didn't work. But when we use E, this is what. Okay, this is a string. Okay, and they both, we know star power star is equals to word. Okay, I mean technically it is equal to word, right? Because this condition matches this. But string, this is a string, and whenever we are using string, that is when the like will be there. So means it is just like when we search for a file, particular file in let's say in our Windows, right? Let's say in Windows, let's say desktop, we are searching for some file here. Let's say star.exe dot, right? Here it will go and search anything with a star.exe extension, right? Similarly, it is because it is going to consider that as a string. Okay, so hyphen EQ is more appropriate when you are actually using, let's say, numbers or variable, let's say, long integers, all those things. So whenever you are using, let's say, string, it will be always good to go with hyphen like to give the exact value. Okay, so that's the first case. So I'm taking all this as a transcript, so you don't have to note it. That's just wanted to show you. Now let's try match word two. Let's try posh. Okay, let's say shell. Is it working? Yes, it's working. Now power shell, and I'm actually typing the exact word that is also matching. Okay, I'm taking the, let's say asterisk symbol, and then while card is removed, again it is working. Now I'm making this like as equal. Now this will be true. Okay, here we tried the same thing. Okay, it was false. Even though we know this might be equal. Okay, but because we know power is there, and then this symbol is wildcard, they are actually should be equal. But since this is a string, unless until it is exactly the same word and it is matching, okay, when this is the scenario, okay, where we will be using equals is when we know exact string value. Okay, when we know we need, okay, the exact string value to be matched, to match, then we will be using hyphen equal, and we need only like we are taking a guess, wild guess, and then only partial is enough for us to check. Let's say when we are getting get hyphen help. Okay, let's say get hyphen help, and then we are typing let's say service here, right? It will go ahead and check, get everything related to service, right? So similarly, okay, we don't know exactly what is the key command, but if I know what is the exact command, I'll be typing directly get hyphen service, right? And that will fetch me the correct one. So make sure you are using double quotes and then the exact word, and then use equals. Okay, and if you are not sure, it might be not the exact string and you are actually taking a guess, or you are actually checking a partial string, substring it is called, okay, or a substring condition, then you will be using like. Now let's check the match. Matches, matches something related to regular expressions. Okay, let me just show. And I think mm, here. Here, this is the regular expression is another different topic. So we'll be seeing as maybe a first topic when we are starting tomorrow. As of now, we'll see the other operators. Okay. Regular expression is something like I'll show you what is regular expression. Okay. Okay. Let us see. Here, for an example, okay, let's say in this example, right, 42 match, what they are doing is, this is the kind an example for regular expression. Regular expression is something actually a set of rules and regulations. Okay, it might look like this, like how we have our own fingerprints, right? The fingerprints will be matching, might be matching this kind of particular thing. Similarly, what we are saying here, okay, 42, I'm just copying it here and then pasting, and here we are checking this. What this is actually doing is, it is taking this particular first thing is, this is a regular expression, and this what it says is the first letter will be between 0 to 9, which is obviously 4 is between 0 to 9, and second letter also will be between 0 to 9, and obviously for 2 is also between 9. Now let's say now I'm making this as 1. Okay, 1 0 to 1. Now it will say false. Okay, here it is false, right? Because the first is true, but this is false. So like we can give a pattern. Okay, regular expression is something you can always think of. These are all the regular expressions. Okay, since we are, that is something might look little bit complicated. We'll take it as a separate one, okay, and then we'll see what is the regular expression, all those things. This regular expression is something very common in all the programming language, okay, and it is not something how we are saying if while all those things will be in all other programming language. Similarly, this regular expression will be there, and this is one of the I mean, almost 99% of the people will be actually, including me, okay, will be still confused in what scenario, what to use. So that's why I want to take it as a fresh topic, maybe in next session, okay, so that you can understand it clearly. I'll be giving exact 4 to 5 things that we will be using, okay, and then that should be making more sense. Now let's go back to split, okay, and split join is again from the name itself, it is going to split something and then join something. Okay, let us say word 1, word 2. Okay, now dollar word hyphen join dollar word 2 will be actual what's happening. I mean, we were expecting this to join, right? Let us try this. Mm, There we go. Before that, I will show you a syntax actually. Okay. So syntax is this is the syntax. Okay. It This is all might be looking a little bit confused. I'll just show this one. Of this. Okay, let us see. Hyphen join. Okay. Now let's say word one, comma, word two. So this is actually joining, but let us assign it to something else. Okay. Let's say result and is equals to this one, and then result will be this one. And if you count result or count, there will be two. Okay, it is actually adding one by one. Okay, in spite of it is actually concatenate, is actually joining. Okay, and then it in the word at the end there will be end of the line, right? That is also getting joined. So join is something will, let's say, I'm the simplest way to join, okay, to two words or two particular is just use plus sign. Okay, and then now this is how you will be actually using concatenation, and then let's say word three is how this is how you will be adding two words, okay, into one word. And what this join will be using in a the right scenario is to use when we want to use it with some delimiter. Delimiter, let's say when we are using some CSV files. Okay, CSV will be comma separated files, right? So in that CSV, comma is the delimiter, right? Let's say we open an Excel file, okay, and then if you go to view and then let's say we have something here and there, okay, and then data, okay, and then if you go to text to column, let's say this one, text to column, you see this delimited, okay, it is a character such as commas, tabs, all those things are delimiters. Okay, so that is what called delimiters. Delimiter is not a concept of only PowerShell. Okay, it is something we know how CSV is something not a concept of PowerShell. Similarly, delimiter is something which will separating two or more values. Okay, so here what is the delimiter is comma. Okay, let us try this. Okay, hyphen join $x. Let us see. This is all. I want to give you one simple example. Just give me one moment. Okay, here we go. Now let's say this is the one. Okay, and then I'm hitting enter. I'm leaving a space here, and then I'll show you. Okay, hyphen join. Okay, will be actually just let's say I'm moving this and then hit enter. Okay, this will be actually joining whatever the three things, right? Okay, all these words. It is actually connecting all of them and then putting into one word. Okay, whatever the plus symbol will be doing. Okay, let's say here I'm removing the join and then putting plus. Okay, this will be doing the exact same thing. Okay, and the value you could see the same exact same thing. Okay, but it can also be used as a delimiter. Let me try. Let's try. Let us try this. Mm, Okay, let me also take, I mean, I think all these are related to the regular expression, and then it is exactly getting confused here. Honestly, I'm also getting confused. So as of now, let's leave it as a join. Okay, so join usually will be just connecting strings, and in spite of using join, as of now for string we will be using exact plus symbol. Okay, so that is what the whole point of join, and it is they are trying to delimiter all those things, but let us take it with the regular expressions. And the last one is split. Split again. Let us try the split. Split is will be splitting a a particular word or a sentence using whatever let's say it can be a particular comma or a word or anything. Based on that, we can actually we can split a particular one single word into two or three. Okay, and let's say here. Okay, string. Let's say sentence. Sentence is this is, let's say this is a test dot two sentences dot to show how split works. And $sen, and first thing is get hyphen member. Okay, what is happening? It is this is string type, and we'll be having split is one of the method. Okay, so of the string. Okay, I will show you dot split, and before that I'll print what is the sentence here. Dot is what I want to split with. Okay, hit enter. Now I try to get hyphen member right. Okay, and I'm gonna try, let's say, prop method member type methods, and then hit enter. And then I'm showing how if I get stuck, what I'm trying to do here. Okay, split. Okay, and I tried split in my method, but it didn't work. I'm just trying to see what is the thing I can do. Okay, this is kind of keep on going, right? So I want to see full information. So what I'm doing is FL and hit enter. Okay, and I could again, I see lot of things. I want to see only split. So I'm putting property split and hit enter. Where hyphen object. Name as an object, all underscore name is equals to split. Okay, now I'm just taking only split. Here, try to focus. I get stuck, I forget, okay, and then I'm trying to actually use. This is the first time I'm thinking we are actually trying to explore the right side of the thing, right? We know we are assuming we will be able to use everything. Let's say this is the new one we are trying to explore it, okay, and then I know what is the mistake I'm doing, but I just want to show how actually I'm troubleshooting it. So first thing is I'm getting a member. Okay, I know that it is one of the method. Okay, I got it, and still I'm seeing lot of things. Okay, I want to only get that particular split. Okay, now I'm gonna FL. Let's see what's happening. Now I could see all the definition. Definition is something how we need to actually use it. Okay, so what it says, string followed by split and then parameter character, okay, and then the separator, which is the separator is let's say in this particular one we are saying here in this separator is dot, right? Here we go. So what is the mistake I made? I'll show you. This is what I made. Okay, I put dollar $sign and then followed by split I should be mentioning, and then I should put either in double quotes or single quotes the dot, so that this complete sentence will be splitting. Okay, and you might have noticed I missed it. Okay, now what I was trying is, now let's say that is a genuine mistake. Let's say I didn't know how to actually use split, and that is when actually I'll be going and then using these things. Now, how do I read this? First, I get the method and then I get the only split and FL, so that now it is all expanded so that I can use. So how I read this? This is a string followed by split is the method. Okay, split is the method, and the params is nothing but the parameter. Okay, in the parameter, character means it is a single character. Okay, and that is the separator, and the character string everything will be coming in single quotes or double quotes. So what I tried is, I thought I'll be trying in single quotes. It is working, and I also tried it with double quotes, and you will be also seeing the same result. Okay, so that is the split, and we also see, let's say, other things. Okay, it's 6-4, right? So far, what are the things we have seen? I'll just quickly cover so that we will be go for a break. Going for a break. So else, if, and then else, and we can be replicating the same using switch. Okay, because it is based on one particular value, and that is a test value or a key value, and all these conditions. There is no colon. I made this mistake, and then we just remove the colon, and it worked. And as I said, while, do, while, for, all those things are all going to use the condition incremental and then check it and then do something. So they're all kind of same kind of tools, and by case, you will be using the best tools. And then, as I said, from the first day itself, I said it's a list of commands and logics, and then that is what we are doing so far. Now we want to check other operators, and we tried like, and match is something related match, and then join. They both are related to join is just a plus symbol. Okay, just that is how it will be working. But Since all the examples are related to regular expression, we will be just leaving it, and we will be seeing the match with regular expression. For regular expression, I gave you an example. This is an example. It's a kind of pattern. Whenever we see regular expression, just remember it is a pattern. In spite of we give a particular thing, let's say star X, Y, Z, star is kind of wild character, and then we don't know what exactly, right? In spite of that, we give a exact pattern. This is how it should be. Okay. For an example, let's say the credit cards will be 16 digits, and then or those kind of things, right? And then yeah, Aadhaar card or PAN card, all those things will be starting with a B and then underscore and then ending with some numbers, all those things, right? So, and let's say some bank, your actual account number will be 16 digits or 17 digits. So it is all having some kind of pattern, right? So based on that and IFSC code, all those things will be having some pattern, right? So IFSC codes, all maybe let's say ICI and then followed by some four-digit number. This is how it will be like. So when these kind of things are getting in and then we wanted an exact pattern, that is when we will be using the regular expression. We'll see as a different topic. And we also seen plus is nothing but the join. We have tried, important thing is we have tried a split, and then we tried how to actually explore it using this particular one, so that we also seen how to read it and then try to use it in our real case. Now let us go to one more data type, which is we have already seen hash tables, right? The hash table, how we will be using hash. Hash table is something, as I said, hash table is something like lock and key sort of thing. So everything will be having, let's say, kind of in this manner. There will be a key and it will have a value, and then key 2, uh, it will have another value. And then how do we declare it? As I said, let's say hash table is equals to dollar and followed by, let's say, in whatever the key. Okay, key 1 is equals to the value 1 and semicolon, and then we can keep on going, and then this is how we'll be quickly seeing how exactly it's done again, so that we can see arrays. Okay, we are going to see how the arrays are working. Arrays is very important because so far we were dealing with lots of arrays, but we didn't actually, I did mention that is all arrays. Okay, when we say get hyphen process and we are doing for each, all those things, right? We are actually dealing with an array of object. So before we go to array, I just want to clarify what is the hash table. Again, let's say take an example of phone numbers, and then this is how I'll be doing it, right? Let's say name number 1 is equals to 100 semicolon, number 2 is equal to 200, or and then number 3 is equal to 300, and then phone number, and then it will be actually by default it will be taking these all as a names and this as a values, and this is a hash table. And then if I type keys, I will be seeing all the keys, which is the name. And if I type values, I'll be seeing all the values. If I type any particular one key, I'll be seeing that particular one key's value, right? And this is the hash table. Now, how we are declaring it here, this is how we are declaring. And as I said, we'll be starting with at symbol and followed by curly braces, and everything will be kind of key and then value, key and value, and separated by semicolon. This is the hash table. And as I said, the hash table will be used in a script, when we are actually dealing with, let's say, a small number of tables sort of thing. Let's say you only have 5 computers in your active directory in or 5 servers. For that you don't need CSV file, all those things. So you can put it directly in the script itself as a hash table, and then you can modify it. So that hash table is a kind of small table you are managing, and then you can add values, remove values. We have seen all those things already in the previous sessions. Now, now we are going to see an advanced level, or actual fundamental of the PowerShell. We see everything is an object, right? Everything is an object, and everything will, let's say, even though we put phone number, and then if I type get hyphen member, that is how we explore the object. And it is saying it's a hash table, and then it also has all the methods and property. Now we know everything is actually an object. And let's say we have, now let's go to array. Okay, array is just a collection of objects. That's a simple definition. The object can be number, strings, values, any kind of data type, including objects. When I say objects, it can be services, it can be events, uh, events, or it can be processes, anything. Okay, if you are adding lot of things and then putting into a one collection, okay, it will be called array. That is the definition. So whenever we say array, it is a collection of objects. Okay, so that is the definition of array. And let us see what all the arrays we have been seeing so far, but we didn't actually notice, or we didn't actually, I didn't mention, because we want to take it separately once we are ready. Now let's say I type get hyphen service. Okay, let's get hyphen service and then hit enter. I'm getting all these things. And if I pipe this, okay, get hyphen service, and pipe it to get hyphen member, you will be seeing this as a service controller. This is what I've been showing you, right? Because this is a service related thing, and this completes a get hyphen service is returning an object. That object is related to service. This is a service controller. Now what I'm going to do is I'm assigning two services and then get hyphen service. Now I'm going to type get hyphen service and get type, and you see now that's the same command we are assigning to a variable. Okay, this variable is actually, the type is array. As I said, array is something but the collection of objects, right? A collection of objects, it can be anything. Here it's a collection of services, right? Service is an object, and everything is collected and putting into one single array. So how do we know it is an array? Okay, let's say if I put services, I see lot of objects one by one. Now this is how we will be actually reading array. First we say count, right? This is actually a property of an array. So how do we count the number of objects? Number of objects in an array is just object, or let's say array dot count is how we will be counting it. Okay, so this array, again, this array is also an object, okay, but it is a collection of object. So that is how we will be counting. Now let us say we want to, in spite of I get everything, okay, I want to get only one value, or first value. Okay, and pay close attention. I'm putting the first, this is the first time we are using this particular square bracket. Okay, and then I'm putting 0 and then hit enter. What is happening? It's actually returning the first object of this one. Okay, which is in the position of 0. Now, this is when I'll be able to show you. Let's say any array, okay, will be having two things. One is array index and then the array object. Okay, so let's say this is all together. Let us say this is all together forms as an array. Okay, urgent center. This is an array. Okay, and it will have two things. One is array index and then array object. Means index is nothing but the position. Okay, in this array we have a lot of things, right? So let's say I want to call this object 1, object 2 or anything. I will have to keep a number, right? So that number will be actually starting from 0. Why? In any programming language or anything, actually any number will be, I mean, any counting will be starting from 0 and then 1 and then 2 and then 3. Okay, so that is how it will be. By default, everything will be starting from 0, not 1. Okay, so the first object is the first object of the array and its index is actually 0. Okay, and then second will be 1. And how it will be actually called this, let's say how to call it, will be like this array, right? Array name and followed by in the square bracket this particular index name. So this is how we'll be calling this is the index position. This is 0, all those things, right? So this is how we'll be actually calling it. And how this will be called 0 and this will be 1 and this will be 2, this will be 3 and so on and so forth. Okay, it will keep on going and let's say the last number of objects is 10, the last thing will be 9. Okay, it will not be 10 because it is starting from 0. Okay, so what are the things we are seeing here one by one? The complete thing is called array. Array is a collection of objects and it has something called array index. Okay, and I'm capturing one by one. First, array is the object collection of objects we said, and then array objects are called by array index. Index is something how we call our let's say in the pages in the books we have an index, right? In this particular page it has this particular topic. Similarly, it will be, and the index will be, array index will be starting from, by default, starting from 0. Means at any point of the last first object, okay, will be called like this. How? An array name square bracket 0. This is how the first object, and the last object will be called, what is the count? The total number of objects minus 1. Why minus 1? Let's say it has 10 objects. Okay, that this is the last object. And the last object, let's say example 10 objects are there. Okay, and the last object will be called like this. Let's say array total number of objects is 10, minus 1 is 9. This is how we will be accessing. So that is what we've been seeing in this one. Okay, so array has index and everything. This is something you don't have to do. PowerShell will take care of assigning the 0, 1, 2, all these positioning. All you need to do is the managing, assigning the value, and then calling the value. Okay, to call, this is how we'll be using. And This, whenever we are putting square bracket, it means we are doing something with the, whenever we use square bracket, it means we are doing something with the array object or array. Okay, so that is the whole point here, and let us say it as a array example. And I'll close this. Now, let's see some examples. Services. First thing again, how do I prove this is a array? I just type get hyphen type. I'll be using get hyphen type, and you will also start using, I think, get type will be actually getting what kind of object this is. This is a system array. Okay, even though we have all the objects within the services or actually service, this everything is together, put together is a system array. So to call the first object, first we will count how many is there. Count is, this is how we'll be counting. How do we call the first object? All we need to do is put 0, and this is how. And how to call the last object? 278 minus 1. Total count is 278. Let's say I put 278 here. You will be getting nothing because it will not be starting from 1. It will be starting from 0. So the last will be 277, not 278. So this is how. Now, why should I call this particular one like this? Let's say I call this and then type name and hit enter. I'll be able to access the first object's name. And if I type 10 and then call, I'll be able to call the 10th object. This is actually 11th object's name. Okay, and so this is how we'll be actually handling the object within the array. Okay, so that is how, so far we've been doing this, okay, from the day one itself, but I mean, intentionally we are keeping this down because we want you to focus only on the objects and members. Now you can start exploring this as an objects and then a collection of objects is an array, and how to call using array index. Okay, now let's see some simple examples. Let's say count of 10. Okay, and I could, how do I declare? I could declare again similar at 1 2 3 and then 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and okay, the easy basis, that is something, don't have to do it. Count of 10. Okay, this is it. Okay, and I just want to show you this, whenever we are starting with the at, you remember this, at is actually hash, right? So this is going to be hash, it is going to consider as a hash, and then it is actually waiting for me to give other values. Okay, so this is how we will be actually, let's say this dot get type. Now you will be seeing this as an array. Now I declared 1 to 10. Okay, there are a lot of facilities to do it. Okay, one of the easiest facility to do, count of 20. Should I type 1 to 20? No, I can just type 1 and then type 2 dots and put 20. That's it. Count it. This is count 20 is, it will be automatically taking, assigning the values. Okay, and it is, this is how we will be doing is count of 20, anything you can count till any number. Okay, and the declaration will be just, you need to equal and followed by whatever the objects. Okay, for all the objects will be separated by comma, not the semicolon. Here everything will be separated by semicolon, hash table. Here it will be separated by comma. Now, this is one of the easiest way to do the same thing, count of 10 or anything. Now, let us take count of 10, okay? And count of 10 is equal to 1 to 10. We are done. Now, let's first count how many is there. 10 objects is there. Now, I'm gonna call the first one. I'm trying to type 1 and hit enter. Guess what will be the number will be coming? It will be the second, because you remember everything, all the array will be starting with 0. So 0 is actually the first object. This is the second object. Third, that is the index. Okay, the 0 is the index. Okay, so that is how we will be doing. And then if you put 10, nothing will be written, because there is 10 is actually a 11th index. So to call the last object, 10 minus 1, count minus 1 is 9. That is the last object. So that is how we will be doing it. The array, and let us take a few other things what we can do. Again, very similar to other help, get hyphen help about and underscore arrays, and then hit enter. You'll be seeing all those things. Count, and let's try the length. Let's say count of 10, length, hit enter. Length is will be usually will be related to the string size. Okay, let us say I mean, here it is, since it is number, it is actually saying 10. Okay, count and 10 will be same, but length is something we will be specifically using with a string. Let's say word 1 is there, right? If I type word 1 dot length, it will be giving how many words are there. Fortunately, it is the same number. Let's try that 2. This is 6. What is the word number 2? Word 2 is Titans. Titans has 6 characters, right? So that is the string length. Okay, length is nothing but the what is the number of characters in a string. Okay, and what else we can do? Okay, now we'll go with this one. This is more easy to readable. This is how we declare, right? It is not mandatory you have to have it in an order 1 to 10 or anything. I'm copying this and then I'm pasting here. It can be anything. Okay, now $a.count is the total number, and then 4 is the fifth object, will be the 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the fifth object. To call the fifth object, I'll be just minus 1 and call it this one. And there is no need of starting anything from, let's say I put 1 to 100 or 10, right? Instead of, you can put 10 to 100, okay, or 25 or anything. There is no need to start only with 0 or 1. It can be anywhere. $B will be 10 to 15. This will be easiest way to actually, you want to assign some numbers. This is the, just put 2 dots, that is it. And $A dot get type is array, you see here, and then B also an array. So because they're all a collection of objects, okay. And okay, this is again this is about hash. Okay, don't what if you go through this, okay, you will be getting confused. I'm just taking only the real-time things that you need. Okay, don't worry about it. This is about reading array. 0 will be actually the first one, and then we, let us say here B, okay, 4 or 1 to 5. It will be calling from 1 to 5, all the 1 to 5. Okay, let's say B is equal to here, right? Where is this one? This is the first one. 2, 3, 4, 5 is, this is the value, and this is what it is getting. It is not assigning 1 to 5, it is calling from index 1 to 5. How we are calling b is equal 1 is 11, right? And 5 is 15, right? So I want to call from, let's say, 5 to 7. Okay, it will be calling from 15 to 17. So this dot dot PowerShell understands it. Okay, whether you use it while assigning or anything. And okay. Okay, here in for each object, you remember we assign some numbers and then we were calling, right? So for each in this place, whatever we are using, right? This is again an object, a collection of object. Okay, dollar $a because uh, let us here. Let's take this example. Okay, dollar $a is equal to 0 to 9 and dollar $a dot object get type is array and now dollar $a we can either pipe it to directly for each and then dollar underscore dot let- dollar underscore dot, let's see how it works. Mm, for each dollar I to in a and then write hyphen host I and hit enter, you will be actually seeing all this. What is this? Nothing but the same value. Okay, but you remember previously we were using this, but we didn't know this is a kind of, I mean, this is an array. Just want to know that is also an array. Whatever we are using in this place, right? We are taking from array, and from array we are taking one by one, and we are printing it. Okay, and okay, that should be enough to understand the array. So the difference, you can also have mix and match arrays and hash tables, all those things, but as of now, or actually in a real time as well, okay, you don't have to mix and match. Honestly, you will not use hash table once you start understanding the CSV files. Once we start using the CSV files, you will not even worry about hash table. Okay, because even though it is just two values, you actually want to go with the CSV file. So CSV file or text file, so you will not be worried. You usually use this hash table because it's a kind of restricted one and for only for one-to-one relationship. So that is something we don't need it. But again, it's good to know, because if we know the hash table only, we know the arrays, how it is actually working and the difference. And don't try to work out these kind of complicated things. Okay, this is all can be done using simple arrays. Okay, all, let us say for an example, uh, let's say dollar process is equal to get hyphen process, and processes dot get hyphen type is actually an object. Okay, and this is how you need to go ahead and approach it. Okay, there is no need to actually you need to do anything. I mean, so far you didn't know this is an array, right? So similarly, don't consider or don't worry about it. Okay, don't try to use intentionally array just because we know a concept of array. Okay, don't try to use this. Try to use only the where object. Let's say get hyphen process where hyphen object dollar underscore dot. This is where you're actually using. Okay, this is what more dynamic than let's say is equals to grow b32. Okay, so where object, all those the regular thing we were using so far, right? Just stick with that. Array is just to know there is an underlying concept called array, and we will also use it when we require it, and it's a collection of things. That's all about arrays and hash tables. And when you go and try things, you can still do, let's say you might be getting more ideas. You can ask me in Q&A sessions, and let's do some string manipulation. So string manipulation, again, it is like match, all we already started covering, but let's see what all the string manipulations available. Let's declare, we already declared word one, right? So word one is PowerShell get hyphen member, and then member type is manipulation is something not reading only. We will do some kind of operations. So let's say methods. We want to get methods only. Now, these are all the string operations. What all the things we will be doing usually is replace. Okay. Let us try the replace. All these things again, even I don't try to remember. Okay. I'll only, let's say, replace, how it works, old character versus new character. Okay, so before that I'll just print it again. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace okay, power ll is there, right? Let's replace ll with something else. Okay, dot replace l with this one, and then hit enter. You see small l is replaced by capital L. Okay, we can also replace with anything. Let's say x. Now it's replaced, right? So basically this is how it will work. You are taking a character and then you are replacing it with something else. Okay, and wherever it is, let's say we declare something, lots of space, lots of space. Okay, and usually replace will be also I'll come to that. Okay, this is, let's say shall type. This is the one. Now what I'm doing is printing it. I see lot of spaces, so what I'm doing is replace. Okay, this is the common comma, I mean replace, this is empty. Okay, this is space with nothing. Okay, I just put double quotes and double quotes. There is nothing in between actually. Here there is no space or anything, and then I hit enter. Now we remove all the space between, right? So now this is kind of aligned. So this is how we'll be using the replace. Okay, and let us see what all the other things we'll be doing. Let us try the remove. Okay, now in spite of, now I replace it, and then I'll print it. Okay, now still it replaced but did not actually uh, I did not assign it to another variable or to the same variable, so it will not actually making change. It is actually uh, doing some manipulation and then giving me result. I should actually capture this. Okay, so let us say I want to make it remove. Okay, remove it, the mm, okay. Okay, so remove is something, let's say three characters. Okay, it is just going to take the first three characters and remove the rest of things. Okay, and here in this scenario I'll just show how to actually do it. Okay, here I do it and then I print. It is actually not taken care. What I'll be usually doing is I'll assign it to the same variable actually. so that it will be taken care. Now if I type lot space, it will be actually changed. So remove is actually going to remove anything after the 3 characters. Okay. And other usual thing is split, right? Let's try split. We already tried, right? Let's say lots of space, which is I'm gonna assign again. Okay. And then dollar lots of space dot split, and then using space, and it's gonna split all these things, whatever it can be, anything, space or semicolon or anything, that will be how it will be splitting. Okay. And substring is something we will be using. Okay. Let's say substring, what is the how it works. Okay. Again, you see on the right side, start reading now, right side also. Okay. Now this is the place where you'll be seeing there are two kind of substring we can do. One is just to where to start the index. Okay. Index, we know, like an array, right? The number to start in that particular one. There is also start index for how much length. We'll see both of them. So I was saying two scenarios it's giving. Okay, comma is something, the use cases. Okay, we can either do this or this. So let's take this one. How will I read this? This is how string. Okay, don't worry. Okay, that is something not you don't. I mean, kind of what we are actually dealing with. Substring is, this is where actually happening, and within that we are doing start index. Okay, and it should be an integer. That is what all I need is. Substring is this one. Okay, within the bracket I need an integer. That is what all I need. Okay, so let's try that now. Let's say this is the one, and then let's say substring, and I know it should be an integer. I'm just putting a random number. Okay, 4. Okay, and hit enter. What is happening after 4? Okay, 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, or count 1 2 3 4. Okay, after this it is actually printing this as a substring. Okay, means starting from 4, including this, whatever this there is a space before r, that is also included. Okay, now that is taken and then printed as a substring. Okay, now let's say I know all the, let's say let's say IFSC code, right? IFSC codes pattern. Okay, all starts with the, let's say HDFC 0001. Okay, this is the sorry, this is the one. Okay, now I only want this one. Okay, now I know the pattern. First 4 letters is something I don't need. Only I need the IFSC code from IFSC to branch code. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is IFSC code pattern dot substring, and in this I wanted to skip, or I wanted to skip the first 4. Okay, I'm gonna type 4 and then hit enter. Now if I see IFSC to branch, you will see the actual code, branch code, because I know that is what I need. I don't need the HDFC because that is common for all my banks, right? Because let's say I'm doing script for my company and my company is HDFC. In that case, I don't need it, right? So I can remove all these. I can take only the branch code and manipulate it. Similarly, let's say I only need, there are 2 cases we have seen, right? Let's go back to the basics. Get hyphen member. This is about substring. One is only one integer we are mentioning. Now another one is an integer and then followed by the length, right? So let's try the second case. Here this is where we are starting. If we are asking to skip the first four, right? We are asking the first, skip the first, let's say four, only for next two letters, okay, not the complete three digits, let's say, and then hit enter. You see, in spite of, if I put this, it's going to take the rest of the complete thing. Now in spite of that, if I put two, it is going to fetch only the two characters, okay. Let's say IFSC pattern, this is the value, and I put four, it's gonna 1 2 3 4. This is gonna start the substring from here, and if I don't put anything, it is gonna take the complete rest of the thing and gonna print it. And if I mention the length, as I said, it is just the string length, okay. If I mention two, it is gonna take only from here another two and then print it. And if I mention 3, it will be 0 0 0, and if I mention 4, it will be 0 0. If I type 5, it will give an error because it has already ran out of it. Okay, this is something not a random number. It is something should actually meet with your actual value. Okay, so if I put number 5, there is nothing to fetch from the value 5 after that. Okay, so that is the reason. So that is how substring works. Now what else we could see? These are all the things you will be very often using in your let's say in string manipulation. Okay, now get hyphen member. Okay, and okay, this two upper is something we'll be using very often. Let's say get hyphen dot two upper, and here two upper doesn't have anything, okay, in the brackets on the right side. So similarly, you don't have to mention anything. All you need to put is double quotes. Now, okay, HDFC, I already mentioning it in capital. So let us say HDFC 0002. Now HDFC is 1. Now if I try 2 upper, this all this HDFC everything will be changed to 2 upper, right? So similarly to lower, okay, all those things are the same thing. Now trim will be trimming. Trim is kind of cutting the substring. What is happening from here? It is actually printing this one, right? Its trim is kind of the same thing, but it will do just trim. Let's say what is the trim? Before I do, what I'm checking is trim. Within that, I should put the character, trim characters or trim. Okay, so trim. Let's take this as an example. Example trim. Okay, I leave a space and then type example, and then I leave a space and then put it. Now example dot trim end and hit enter. It might not. Okay, I'll trim space. You see, I'll be showing with the count actually. Okay, or length. It's 7. Okay, well, I'll go one by one. First, this is the example trim. Okay, this is the complete one, and I'll first, as I said, length again, that is also a string manipulation. 15 characters it has, okay, which is example is 1 2 3 4, 7 plus another space in front as well as back. I have a lot of things. Totally this is 15 characters. So that's the thing. Now what I'm doing is I'm trimming this, and then I'm printing the length now. Okay, and then you could see it has 7. What is the 7? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, since you are not able to see that, okay, I mean if I just print it, okay, leave a space, you will not able to see whether this is trimmed or not, right? So that is the reason to prove I'm just showing this length. Okay, so if again, if don't stick with what I'm actually trying to do, okay, as I said, I always want you to focus on the approach, right? Today we actually explored get hyphen member. On the right side we read things and then get hyphen member, let's say, and then whenever I'm saying trim, I'm reading the right side as well, and then I'm interpreting. If it is character, I'm putting some kind of character, let's say leaving a space or anything. If it is let's say upper, and it is has nothing to do with any within this parameters, there is no parameters, anything. PARAMS means parameters. Okay, if doesn't have any parameter, you need to just leave it as it is. Lower also you don't have to do anything. Split, I we use the separator, right? Let's say space is a separator, those kind of things. Substring, I also read on the right side. We tried both the things. One is just the number, and number followed by length, all those things. Now another thing we started doing today is we started reading not only this. So far we are only keeping our eyes only on the left side and then reading these. Now we are extending and then reading these as well, trying to make sense. As of now, okay, for me honestly at this moment also, we sometimes will be looking confused. Okay, so do not worry if it is something looks very alienating sort of thing, alienation, and then you will not be understanding I convertible, what does that means. Do not worry about it. Okay, yeah, just stick with the basic things. The character is means just one single character. Integer is number. Okay, string is just more than one character. Boolean is true or false. Those kind of things. Long, integer, all those are numbers. Okay, so those are all the basic things. Don't worry about something. Let's say here is convertible, all those things or something. You don't have to worry. Okay, if you're not able to read it, you can still go ahead and then Google and then figure it out. But the point is, if you are able to get it from here, means you don't need a Google, means you don't need let's say if it is a pretty new environment, and it is a third party environment, or it is a new technology, everything. Okay, if you know how to read this is something universal. Okay, string will be string in anywhere, any technology, right? For let's say integer will be integer. If you know how to read this, okay, how I'm reading this, if you start reading and then trying to, even though you know how all these split everything works now, try to match what is this the right side, try mix and match things, how it is working, not working, so that you will be getting complete understanding. And if you understand the right side, how to use it and what to ignore, what not to ignore, okay, then that is the level where you will be actually I would say you started mastery. Okay, that is the level where you are already mastered, and then you can do anything irrespective of operating system, irrespective of technology, irrespective of anything. Whether you have a Google or you don't even have a complete internet connection, still you will be able to prove whatever you need. So that is what the whole point. Then whatever we covered is more than enough for us to do all almost 90% of the scripting will be done with all these things whatever we have done. Okay, now we'll be seeing more in upcoming sessions, and then let's end the sessions, today's session now, and then I'll quickly recall what all the things we have seen today. We have seen array, we have seen hash recap, and then like, split, and join is nothing but the plus symbol. And I don't we'll be seeing the regular expression. Regular expression is something we have as a here. You see the 53rd topic, it is a separate topic, we'll be seeing that. Okay, and that is something very important, bit confusing, but I'll make it make sure it will be something easier, and you'll be able to understand. And as I said, while, do, while, until, for, all those are going to do the same thing. Okay, but based on the scenario, you will be using it. If and switch will be doing the same thing, and we have seen else, if, else, and switch, everything. That is all we covered today. Being said that, the important thing now is these two is already you have list of commands, how to use the command, how to explore the objects. We know everything. Now you also you know the basic, and how to check the conditions, everything, while, do, while, if, cast, all those things. And you also know how to explore objects, get hyphen member, do strings manipulations, everything. Now, as I said, script is nothing but putting together and making a meaningful objective to make it happen, right? So now officially you have almost everything to start writing your own scripts. Okay, I mean, it doesn't mean you can just right away go ahead and write it. Means we already started and you have everything. So start to your own project today. Okay. If you have a plan of automate, do an automation in your office, right? Try to plan what you are exactly trying to do, and try to do at least one small project before we complete this. Okay. At least to kickstart. Okay. This is how I'm planning, and then get assistance, and then so that you will have something tangible to go out and achieve in your actual office, to get your actual, to use this knowledge into some kind of benefit. It can be monetary benefit or some kind of opportunities, anything. Okay, so when you do that, only when you get a taste of success using this PowerShell, then only that will be a kind of feedback. Once you use this knowledge, go ahead and apply something, and you get a reward for that. It can be a small reward, just very good from your manager, or it might be a huge bonus. It can be a promotion or anything. But if you just get that one thing, okay, just let's say I'll be saying that as kind of no more look back phase. Okay, means so far you are learning. Okay, and then you will be failing, but now I want you to go on and implement it. You will be actually fail, pass, that is all different, and I'm here to support you. Get the support, and actually go ahead and then get it live in your office. Okay, so that you get this particular one, which is a reward. Okay, in another word, it is the feedback. Okay, it mostly, if you are doing it correctly, it will be a good feedback. And this reward can be anything. It can be a salary, it can be a bonus, it can be a promotion, based on what how lucky you are, how fast you are doing, and how fast you are getting my support to get it live. Based on that, you will be getting all those things. So basically any opportunity. Okay, so and when you get this, then this complete cycle is done. Means once you get this reward, all these things are going to work. That's the thing. Once you get the reward, then there is no look back at all. That is where your actual PowerShell career kickstart, and then there is no look back. Hope you that makes sense. And that is how that this is the place I officially announce you to go ahead and do something that is meaningful in your real life, and then let's make your career work, and then let it skyrocket. Okay, thanks for your time, and then you have a wonderful day, and then let's end this session. Thanks, guys.